Well, I think I finally found the permanent home for this guy. This thing has been through like 2 or 3 different upgrades / component configuration changes, and I think it's getting pretty tired of it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this into a streamer. So for like Prime, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, any one of those streaming services you can think of, this will work. On the other side of this wall here, we set up a couple of chairs, the TV that I repaired here on camera just a matter of a few videos ago, and we need to just basically get Windows installed on here again, and I figured it'd just take you along for the ride. So why not make a video of it and just show you kind of what I'm thinking of, and maybe I'll take the camera out there, or actually I'll probably just do it with my phone, but I'll take a video of kind of what the area looks like. It's not impressive or anything, it's just a basement, concrete walls, but you know, we got a TV and entertainment set up there, and you know, it's just a little getaway spot. So anyway, stick around if you want. See you in a second. One of the things that this motherboard does support, and it does support a couple of NVMe slots. We could do that. However, you know, I don't want to waste an NVMe. So I figured I have 4 right now of these mechanical hard drives. I do have another one, but it has backups on it. And I figured, you know, I do have to plug in a couple of cables, but I'd rather this have one of these than use up a precious NVMe that cost, quite frankly, I'm not going to say they cost more, but these have gotten expensive again. It's like, it's crazy how expensive even these are, but I don't really use these anymore. So I have a couple of Samsungs. These are 860 EVO, not pluses, but 860 EVO 2 terabyte. This is another 860 EVO 2 terabyte. This does not need 2 terabytes. We do have a SanDisk. This one is, I do have 11th gen backup on here, so I wouldn't be using this for a backup anymore. But this one is a 480 gigabyte capacity. And then when they have this ADATA, and this ADATA is a 128 gigabyte capacity. We're not putting anything on here. Let's use this. Windows only takes about 30 to 35 gigabytes, I think, with all the updates and stuff completed. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's somewhere in there. So, I mean, that still leaves us with a lot of room to do anything we want. So, I mean, we could download something if we really wanted to. So, let's get this installed. All right, basically I just got to take off this back panel to access where I'm going to put this. Actually, you know what? I might not even have to take this back panel off. I don't even know if I have to. Yeah, because this is where we're going to put the drive back here. I could put them in one of these caddies up front here. Oh, you have to access it from the back anyway. So we could put them in right here. You know, I could put it right here and then use screws to screw that down. Or we could put it in one of these slots, which I'm kind of thinking it's kind of how it's supposed to be, but I can't get those off. Got my little toolbox here. And we're just going to take this thumb nut off there. I do have to get some screws. I was not prepared for the screws, so I have to get screws and I have to get a SATA cable. I have not used a SATA cable in a while, but I know where they are, so hold on. All right, we got our cable there, and I do believe I have some black screws right here. I do believe these are for this. I do need my other screwdriver. And so whenever we're putting something like this, this is definitely old school here, or it's becoming old school. You want to put these in the down position so your cables go in like this and not up top. I mean, you could come from up top, but it just doesn't look as appropriate. So we just need to line up those holes, and hopefully I got the correct screws here. Not the correct screws. They are the correct screws. I guess it just wasn't sitting in there perfectly. You know what? There is a hump right there, and I'm wondering, oh, you know what? I'm trying to put it on the back side. That is my fault. These go right on the front face of it, and the screws go in from the rear. That is totally my fault. The way this goes back in, it's just got those two nubs on it, or I don't know what the heck you want to call them. Let's get this in. And now you can kind of tilt it if you need to. You could have put these on before, but we want to get our SATA cable plugged in just like that. We are going to get this routed around. Now we do need, if you can see here, we are going to need one of these guys, and this almost reaches. It basically reaches. So I need to see which way this goes on. I can never remember. Just like that. And then on the front, just in case you've never seen this before, on the front you're going to have a couple of spots right here. Sometimes they get plugged in from this side. Sometimes they're straight on the board. And that's your SATA connector. Now this looks like and appears to only be two that this board, no, okay. There's actually four more up here. And do I want to plug it in up there? Yeah, might as well. Keep all the cables together. It really, frankly, does not matter which one it gets plugged into. Not in this case. Well, not this case, but not in this scenario. Because we don't have a lot of other stuff, so nothing else is going to get disabled. So I'm not concerned about that. We have our HDMI hooked up. I have the mouse and keyboard dongle plugged in. We have our power right here. And, the power supply was on. That's not usually something that I do, but I usually check that. I kind of forgot. But everything else is still hooked up. So the other thing that we want to do is we just want to make sure we get into the BIOS, and then we will proceed. We could also check to see if there's any BIOS updates. Even though this is a 9th gen, it probably won't have any, because I know when I first got it, I updated it. I think there was one more after that. So I highly doubt there's going to be any. But let's go ahead and turn it on. Fan spins in the back. We have a little bit of RGB going on here, and this fan is spinning right here for the CPU cooler. We're already getting in here. Oh, look at that. There was already Windows on it. So, this is the motherboard, by the way, in case you are curious of what motherboard this is. I don't think they sell these anymore, but you may be able to get them used or something. Yeah, we need to reinstall Windows because that's Windows 10. I want Windows 11. The upgrade for Windows 11, if I went through Windows 10, is so much longer. So we're just going to reinstall Windows. So I do have Windows 11 right here, and I'm just going to plug this in to any available high-speed port. And anything that's USB 3.0 or higher is recommended. If you put this into a 2.0 port, it will work, but you'll be there forever installing Windows 11. We need to get into the BIOS, guys. So we're going to reset it. I wonder if the reset button works, which it does. Then we're just going to spam the delete key to get into the BIOS. Just waiting for our signal to come back here. And I don't know why this is not resetting yet. I don't know if the Windows 11 is making it so it won't reboot. The fans are spinning, but we're not getting a picture back out. The reboot did not work, so we are going to force this off. I'm going to turn it right back on. And actually it powered itself back on automatically. There we go. I don't know what happened there, but it's getting us into Windows again, which I did not want. Stupid thing. All right, let's go the long way because apparently that's not working. If you're following along here, for some reason that didn't work. So we're going to go into troubleshoot settings. And I'm trying to remember troubleshoot. I haven't done it this way in a long time. I don't need to be connected to the internet to do what I want to do. Oh, recovery. That's what we want. Recovery. I want advanced startup, so we're going to restart right now. And then we want troubleshoot, advanced options, and UEFI firmware settings. And that's what we want. Just in case I was pushing the wrong button. I mean, I thought it was the delete key, but I don't know. All right, so we're in the BIOS right now. We can see we have BIOS version F15. Let's go ahead and I'll do a screen recording. We're going to look up what this is. So this is a Gigabyte. Oh, wait a minute. See, always typing on the wrong keyboard. So Gigabyte, and this is a H370M, H370M DH3, DS3H. Okay, so that's the second option down there. That's this one. It is version 1.0, usually on your motherboard. Maybe not on the box, but on the motherboard, it should tell you the revision of the motherboard, because it could be 1.0, it could be 2.0, or it could be 1.1, 1.2, anything like that. And a lot of times, and it may be written in a, okay, so bottom left-hand corner, at least on this one, maybe it is with other manufacturers, but this is revision 1.0. And that looks like our motherboard. So we're gonna go over to support on the actual page that we're on, not up here to support. This is going to give us some downloads here, and we wanna scroll all the way down where it says BIOS. We have F15, we do have the latest BIOS, and that BIOS came out in January of 2024, so we have the latest. All right, so at this point, I'm gonna install the Windows 11 into one of the available USB 3.0 ports, and we're gonna try and do a boot override here. I just have to find it. Let's see, boot override. Where's the boot override gonna be? We have boot override. If you go to save and exit right there, and we have Windows Boot Manager, and that's what we want. So I did a double click on there, and that should get us right into that Windows 11 bootable media USB drive. That was a mouthful. That was not it. So for whatever reason, it did not recognize that thumb drive. Maybe it's because I just put it in, and for some reason I thought that, I guess I thought it was that one, but it's not. So let's go to there we go. Now we have our partitions. That was my bad, because I should have read that it said ADATA right there, and I did not. So now when we see this SanDisk Extreme Pro, we have partition 1, partition 2. You always want to pick the partition 1 that that it's on. So now, I'm sorry, I apologize. I read it too fast. I just saw bootable, and that's the direction I went. But see, easy correction. No harm, no foul. All right, now we have Windows 11 set up. Let's just start going through these. We want to install Windows 11. Yes, I agree. We do not want to repair the PC. No product key. This had Windows 10 on it, so when we install Windows 11, it should not have a problem, and you don't have to install a key now if you're going from Windows 10 to Windows 11. When Windows 11 gets initialized, you hook it up to the internet, it should recognize it. It should automatically assign it a key, and you'll be fine from Microsoft itself. We want Windows 11 Pro, even though I think Home was on this. So that's the other problem. I don't know if Home or Pro was on this. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the installation. I'm going to go back in, because I don't know if Pro or Home was on this. It's not a huge deal for me, because I could just buy a key for $15, but I'd rather not spend the money. So what I'm going to do is go back into Windows 10. I'm going to find out if it was Home or the Pro Edition, and then I'll get back to this spot and we'll continue right from here. I'll let you know. All right, so I'm just back into Windows 10 here. I'll just kind of walk you through this. You go to the Start menu, do a right click, come up here to System, and we're looking in here. Okay, so it says Windows 10 Pro. That's good. That is good. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Okay, again, product key. I do not have a product key. We found out we have Windows 10 Pro. So now we are going to install Windows 11 Pro. Click Next. All this you have to agree to. You have no choice. All right, so there is a bunch of partitions on here. We can see the partition or disk 0, I should say, a bunch of disks. There's 2 disks, disk 0 with a bunch of partitions and disk 1 with a bunch of partitions. Now, disk 1 is the USB drive we are reading from right now, so we do not want to try and delete those. But what we can do is take each one of the disk 0, just click delete. Sometimes you got to give it a few seconds. And we just keep doing this. That one, there's nothing we can delete. This one we can. And we just keep doing this to all of them until we get only one disk 0 showing. That is our goal. Should just have to do one more here. And that's it. Unallocated space, 120 gigabytes out of so it's 128 gigabyte drive, and it's got 119.2 is the one we want. So that one's highlighted. We click Next. And there we go. So we want to keep nothing, install Windows 11 Pro. That's exactly what we want to do. Now at this point, what it's doing is it's reading all the files off of this thumb drive. It's pulling them all and it's going to put them on to the other drive. Right now it's just reading them. If you are interested in how to make one of those bootable media drives for Windows 10 or 11, Windows 10 not so much anymore. I'm not going to be making those anymore because Windows 10 is up this year in October. So I'm not doing anything else with Windows 10, but Windows 11 is the same procedure on how to make those bootable drives. I make them through Rufus now, and I do have a video out explaining on how to do that. So go ahead and check that out if you want. And basically at this point, it is safe to eject this, the stupid HDMI cable. So we're going to go United States, US, skip the additional layout, and I don't have Ethernet, so we're not going to even bother with that. What we're going to name this PC, I think we're going to name it Downstairs Streamer. Stairs Streamer. And then no password. Location is fine. Find my device, don't need that. Diagnostic data, don't need that. Ink and typing, don't need that. Tailored experience, don't need that. And advertisement ID, no, no, no. All right, at this point, it's just going to take another minute or two to get into Windows. And when that gets done, well, I'll let you know. All right, that is what just popped up. And we are in Windows now, Windows 11. Obviously, we're going to get this hooked up to the internet because it does need a whole bunch of drivers. I will show you right here. Sometimes you can just do a right click down here on the start menu. We come up to Device Manager, and you're going to see a whole bunch of stuff that's missing. And this has a lot to do with Windows updates, and sometimes you even have to go and get the drivers yourself. So let's see if Windows Updates takes care of those. All right, I'm just going to plug in the Ethernet because that's the way it's going to be anyway. This does not have built-in Wi-Fi on this motherboard, so even if I wanted Wi-Fi, I'd have to do an add-in card, which I have a couple of them, but we're going to keep this strictly Ethernet connected. Okay, we do have an Ethernet connection right there. We can tell that our network is good now. And now what we can do is go ahead and prompt this if it has not started already. Windows Updates. Check for updates. We should get a whole bunch of them. This was 24H2 that I did download, so that is the version. You can even see the cumulative 24H2. So it's going to have to go through a bunch of these and get all that installed. And we'll kind of wrap this video up pretty quick. The only other thing I can think of that I want to do is maybe give this thing just a kind of a quick wipe down, and then I'll show you out there where we're going to put it. And tell me what you guys think. So stick around a few more minutes. All right, so this is it. We got a couple of chairs set up here. We have kind of an end table there that we can put some drinks or whatever there. An octopus lamp. We got another light in the corner if we really need it. Then she's just got a cabinet right here that she can put some knickknacks and other kind of goodies in there. A lot of crocheting that she does. She puts everything there. This is an old area rug from my old apartment. We just threw it down here. It's older, but it works for now because this is a concrete floor. And then we have a treadmill here. That, by the way, is my old desk that used to be in my room. And then we can spin around here. So this is the entertainment center that we used to have at the apartment, along with the same TV, subwoofer, and all that. So this is where it's going to go. It's going to kind of go in the same area. I'm going to put it right back here, or we might get a little table to put it on right here. But I think it can go right behind the TV right there. And I think that's going to work perfectly fine. So, yeah, what do you think? We got a little fireplace here, so we can have some romance. And no, but it is cooler down this basement. It's usually in the 50s, maybe in the low 60s. So, yeah, that'll work perfectly fine. And I've got this pegboard that goes all the way around. It's just funny. But anyway, that's it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm just kind of interested in what you think. And I know it's not the best setup right here because it is basement. We got concrete floors, wood walls, pegboard. It looks kind of funny, but it is what it is. So anyway, it's going to wrap this thing up. So see you guys later.